So with how angry Trump is getting everyone on both sides of the political spectrum, it is impossible for even someone like me to ignore what he's doing. And what I mean by someone like me is I mean someone who could care less about politics. If you guys wanted that as president, my one vote wasn't going to do anything to stop that unless they're like, alright guys, whoever this guy voted for is going to be president. Jason Statham? Yeah, and he has to be Chev Chelios from Crank while he's doing it. But there is a lot going on with Trump right now that even has your boy watching political debates go down. So I'm sure you guys have at least seen clips of this video by Jubilee titled 1 Progressive versus 20 Far-Right Conservatives. They do a lot of videos like this. Their last one was Candace Owen versus 20 Feminists, and then it was Jordan Peterson versus 20 Atheists. And you basically get the point. Their other videos, on the other hand, are to say the least, and the most, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, you wanna know what the video before this one was? What's His Red Flag, featuring prominent porn star Kazumi. And then you wanna know what the video uploaded before this one was? Vegan or Meat Eater. And then you wanna know what the video released after this one was? 2 prom queens versus 2 secret nerds. So you can tell that they're saving the biggins and sparsing them throughout. Might as well just make a whole nother channel if you ask me. But back to this video. So this is the video they played previewing what the debate was going to be like before they actually released it.
My family lineage is settlers from the 1500s. So
you don't look very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites are Native Americans. What are you talking about?
You're not.
What are you talking about?
Dude looks more native to a special needs class than he does to America, but you can tell that these people are dead set on thinking that white people are the rightful owners of America, and if you're not, then you can get out. It's like, are we really doing this? You learn in elementary school that Chris and his team came over and saw that there were people already here. There are children who understand the concept of being here first better than these full-grown adults. And it's not that they don't know that, they're just choosing to be ignorant because they'd rather believe what they think is right, regardless if it's wrong or not, than admit you're right. Now, this video is just over an hour long, and obviously this guy is the one who I'm going to talk about, but not before showing you how stupid the other people that went up to talk actually are. So this guy, who thinks white people are Native Americans, only thinks that because he doesn't know, or at least doesn't accept, that there were indigenous people here before the white man stepped his pasty foot on what is now called the United States of America.
I'm an American, you know.
You're an American citizen?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know how you got that, but fair enough. Here's the thing.
Are you an American citizen?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But here's the thing.
Not sure how you got that, but okay.
Born here.
Okay.
Born here, and my family lineage is settlers from the 1500s, so I have some stake in the claim here, okay?
But you're
a little different.
But you're
than
a
yours.
descendant of immigrants. Settlers.
I didn't know.
Colonialists.
Yeah,
You
colonials.
don't look very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites are Native Americans. What are you
Sorry.
talking about?
I don't mind going on a tangent, but what was happening before the 1500s?
Calm down. I think you're getting...
What was happening before the 1500s?
There was indigenous people here that came here from Asia.
Do you know what indigenous means?
Listen, before
indigenous
America,
people can't come from somewhere else.
So you see the level of intelligence we're dealing with here. And not even that, this is the very next thing he says.
Why do you ask a question if you're going to interrupt?
I'm not sure if you know what the meaning of indigenous means.
I do know what it means. It means they came here first.
Well then, if they were here first and your family came from somewhere else, then that only means one thing. ICE. Get 'em. Like, if you're white and you genuinely think that you're a Native American, then I have a little movie for you that explains everything in the simplest way possible. It's called Charlie Brown, The Mayflower Voyagers. All-time classic. You'll watch it and get back to me, and then we'll have a conversation then. But things get even cringier when this guy starts talking. And you can see him throughout the video in the background reacting to what people say, but when he gets up to talk, I shit you not, he sounds exactly like the Took Our Jobs guy from South Park.
You mentioned we were at 4.2% unemployment. Yeah, that's counting people who have part-time jobs. That's counting poverty
That's how it's
wages.
always been counted.
Yeah,
I'm against poverty wages. Can we agree again?
Yes. If you go to the Logood Institute, they calculate it a way where it's like functional unemployment. Okay. If you account for things like just people who make around $25,000 a year, people who have fallen out of the labor market, people who only work part-time, if you count all of those people together, and then add on the unemployment, that's around 25% of the population. So when you go, we don't have jobs, we don't have people to do this, and that, and the other. No, yes, we do. Okay, we don't have a labor shortage. We have a good job shortage. And when you keep bringing these people in, and they're taking those jobs.
I don't know about y'all, but we worked long and hard to get our pay up to a level where we can make a decent living. And now these people from the future are showing up and offering to do the same work for next to nothing. They took our job.
He also sounded like he was about to cry when he said that. Like his whole life is going to end if they just keep letting immigrants come in. They took his job!
They took our job!
The funniest part about this interaction, though, is when he goes back to his seat and he fist bumps this girl next to him. Like, yeah, I nailed it. I didn't cry. I didn't cry this time. I'm a big boy. You want to see how I look without my diapers, girl? I didn't make a mess once this time. I'm clean. I even got a spare if I made a mess. But this guy was way too emotional to be on center stage like this. I mean, look at how much he was shaking before he even got up there. This is someone who you can make cry by being like, there are immigrants coming in, and he's gonna be like, no, stop it, no, there's not. Like, I know I didn't show any of what Mehdi Hassan said, but I didn't even need to. He would literally be like, these are my sources, and this is the official organization that wrote them. And then this guy would be like, well, who's the author? And he's like, the government? And dude's like, well, I want names, addresses, and phone numbers of everyone involved with that publishing, or else I'm not gonna believe it.
Your colleague mentioned earlier, construction. There is actually evidence in construction, yes. But in some industries, in some areas, there is an impact. But overall, no. In fact, a study from the National Bureau of Economic Research found that migrants since 1965 have raised wages and raised innovation.
Who's that by?
National Bureau for Economic Research.
No, hold on. That's where you publish studies. I'm asking.
Yes, I didn't memorize the names of the authors.
Yeah, I know you did, right?
But now we're getting into the meat of the video, and I'm not just talking about our boy Hefty over here, you know what I mean? But this is Connor, and his part of the video was so bad that it has actually affected his personal life. But right when he sits down, he wastes no time. He's like, who cares if Trump's defying the Constitution? We actually need to rewrite it, and at that, porn is illegal and blasphemy shall never be spoken. And it's like, this isn't fucking 400 AD. Nobody needs to be worried about saying, oh my god, or god damn it, and getting punished. This guy wants to turn our society into a scene out of the Passion of the Christ. Whippings for anyone who dare says the Lord's name in vain, and black people are like, whipping again? We're again with the whipping? Come on, guys.
So I would say that with Trump being anti-Constitution, I don't really care, to be quite frankly.
Okay.
Because in regards to the Constitution is a document that should seek to serve us. Yes. And when it fails to seek to serve us, that can be amended. Laws can be changed. And quite frankly, the fact is, we're defending things in this country that shouldn't be defended. The First Amendment should not defend pornography and making children and women be victimized. Making women and children be victimized as a result of that. I think things like blasphemy shouldn't be allowed per the First Amendment. I think that, quite frankly...
This guy's like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? And he's like, those crosses on your neck is what I'm talking about, you piece of shit. Crucify him now. Like, anyone this religious should never be the leader of anything. But it gets worse.
Quite frankly, if Trump is anti-Constitution, good. And I think he should go further.
So this is wonderfully revealing of the modern conservative mindset. So I appreciate you spelling it out so openly. Just checking, do you support the Second Amendment?
I do.
Okay. Surprise, I was shocked to hear that. I'm saying that Donald Trump is defying the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. He's thinking of defying the 12th and 22nd Amendments. You're saying you don't care about the Constitution, but actually you do, because you quite like the Second Amendment. You just don't like the bits that you disagree with. Can I just be clear on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm more than willing to amend it and include
whenever
the
it's in your
Second Amendment.
favor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So can Democrats do the same when they're in office?
No, absolutely not. Because
so you don't
it's the
believe in
friend
democracy?
Enemy. No, I don't. Absolutely not.
What do you believe in?
Autocracy.
Now, I didn't even know what the hell that was, but apparently this guy believes in a government where one person has absolute power over everything. Some known autocrats are Kim Jong-il, Joseph Stalin, Genghis Khan, Muammar Gaddafi, Napoleon, and Adolf Hitler. So basically just the worst people to have ever existed throughout history, and this guy's like, now that's what I'm talking about, baby! He does clarify, though, that the person in charge should be in line with the Catholic teachings, and it's like, you know who else was in line with the Catholic teachings?
My mom!
Like, he'd be perfect joining a cult, or like maybe even being the leader of one. Just keep him out of our government. But this conversation starts going downhill after Connor starts explaining how the government would look under an autocracy, and then literally just goes into denial when he gets asked a real-ass question.
How would Connor's America look? What would it look like?
Well, quite frankly, I think we would deport people who shouldn't be here.
I didn't ask about deporting. What does the government look like?
What does the government look like?
Yeah.
I would say, quite frankly, it's under a sort of benevolent leader, such as
Where does he
Franco.
come from?
It could be a kind of aristocratic class. Could be someone
who picks the autocrat?
Frankly, the people. I mean, we could hold a vote on it. Kings were
isn't that democracy?
Well, sure. You can have a vote to get to that stage.
And then no more votes afterwards?
Absolutely.
Wow.
100%.
Wow. And if that autocrat kills you and your family, you're fine with that?
Well, I'm not going to be a part of the group that he kills.
How would he know that? 5 minutes of hearing him talk and I already want to get rid of him. This guy actually thinks that if we had someone like Hitler in charge, he would be the exception. This guy would be the guy who gets spared. Alright, okay. But then he quotes the author Carl Schmitt, who, if you didn't know, was a Nazi who literally helped justify what the Nazis were doing. But Connor is like, well, Carl Schmitt said, and as soon as Mehdi hears that name, he's like, the Nazi? The Nazi?
I'm not going to be a part of the group that he kills because that's the whole thing.
How do you know?
Carl Schmitt
Autocrats tend to kill everyone, even their own
Schmitt
supporters.
makes this point very well in his work. It's the friend-enemy distinction, right?
Carl
liberals,
Schmitt, the Nazi theoretician.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't care.
Are you a fan of the Nazis?
I frankly don't care being called a Nazi at all.
I didn't say that. I
Doesn't
didn't
matter
actually
to
say
me.
that. I said, are you a fan of the Nazis?
Well, they persecuted the church a little bit. I'm not a fan of that. But
What about the
you know,
persecution of the Jews?
Well, I mean, I certainly don't support anyone's human dignity being assaulted. I'm a Catholic.
But
And
you
so
don't condemn Nazi persecution of the Jews?
I think that there was.
Now, they only showed her reaction, but I'm 100% sure that there were more people who looked around the room like, is this dude fucking serious right now? All he had to do was condemn what the Nazis did, but instead he's like, I mean, well, I don't like the uniforms, if that's what you're asking. And what's even worse is that he doesn't stop.
We
Stuff
may
like
have
that,
to
which is
rename
bad,
this show
but-
because you're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you could say, I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
So if you guys didn't know, some famous fascists are Mussolini, Adolf Hitler. So I guess that in itself answers if he approves of the Holocaust or not. He obviously does, just not the parts where they killed all the Catholic people. Other than that though, he wishes there would have been more concentration camps. But this next part is hilarious because he thinks being in a room with people who have similar beliefs as him makes him immune from any backlash people can give him. Only what he didn't realize was that is all bullshit, and if you don't condemn the Nazis when asked, more people than you actually think are going to care.
Because you know that millions of people are going to be watching you on YouTube and checking out who the fascists and the Nazis are.
I'm not ashamed of that whatsoever.
clearly you're not.
During the
Clearly you're not.
During the pre-war period, prior to World War II, it was only those parties that properly enacted the people's will.
You just refuse to condemn the Nazi Holocaust, my friend. I don't think you're in a position to ask anyone any questions.
I quite frankly don't care what you think about me. If I'm a Nazi
And
and
the
being a
feeling
Nazi
is mutual,
if
so-
being a Nazi means upholding human dignity, because I even believe in your dignity.
He was literally about to say that if being a Nazi means upholding human dignity, I would be a Nazi. No surprise that he got fired from his job after this, right? And then this idiot puts fired for my political beliefs as if he didn't say that he doesn't care about what people think. Well, apparently your job thought you were a fucking moron, and now all of a sudden you care a lot about what people have to say. And look, we've seen it many times before. Racist person goes viral for being a racist piece of shit, they get fired from their job, and then they're like, please help me. And then idiots everywhere will start giving them money. Like this guy who gave them $10 and said, see Kyle, with 5 likes. Not to mention, he's already gotten $10,000 more than what his goal was. But what's interesting to me is that you can send him a prayer instead of a donation. May Satan bring 1,000 years of pain to you and your family. Lucifer Devilman, Daddy Satan 666 at underworld.com. Let's pray, baby! Yeah guys, just like I said, the video is just over an hour, but out of everyone who said something, this guy was by far the worst. Even worse than the guy from Iran talking about having stricter immigration policies. That's like a Mexican going into an ICE building being like, you guys gotta step it up. There are people exactly like me out there right now and you guys are doing nothing about it. But yeah guys, Connor is a big old dum-dum who thinks we should go back to the days when we had kings and queens, not realizing that after hearing this laugh more than once, he would be the first one to be executed. Until tomorrow, peace.